In this video, I'm gonna show you how you can create this rain effect using Photoshop. So let's get started. Hey, what's up guys, Dhruv here, and as you can see, this is the final output. Now for this tutorial, I'm gonna use this stock photo that I found on deviantart.com, and I'm also gonna use this brushes. And if you want to download them, the brush and the stock photo, the download link is in video description, so feel free to use it. Now to create this effect, first of all we have to remove the watermark. So I'm gonna go and select my crop tool and make sure delete pixel is on. Then I'm gonna go and crop it. Looks good, then go and confirm it. After that, double click on your background here and hit OK. Select your move tool, hold your shift key and move her in the center so the composition looks better. Great. Now we have to cut her out from the background. So go and select your quick selection tool from here and make sure it is on plus, and make it bigger using bracket keys, and make a selection. And if you want to remove it from somewhere, go and select your -1, make the brush smaller and you can remove it now. So the selection is ready. After that, go and click on this layer mask button. So we have a layer mask. After that, go and create a new blank layer from here, and put it under your model layer. Now select your paint bucket tool from here and fill it any color, whatever, doesn't matter. So the color is on. After that, right click and select blending option. Then go and select gradient overlay. Here make sure you have this black and white gradient from here. Hit OK. Style is radial, and make it reverse, so dark is outside. Make the scale 100%, and then you can change the angle a little bit more so you can fade it nicely. So yeah, that is looking good, and simply hit OK. So the background is done. Now activate your layer 0, the model one, press Ctrl J so we can make a copy, then double click and rename it to backup. So in case we screw up something, we have mask ready. So put it under here, doesn't matter now. Select your original layer 0 here, activate your layer mask, right click and then select apply layer mask. Then go to image, adjustment and select shadows and highlights. Now first thing you do is make the shadows 0%, and if it doesn't look something like this, then go and select show more option. You have it. Make the shadows 0, highlight in the middle like that, and make the radius halfway here, and tonal width, it completely up to you, like how darker you want to make it. So this is enough. It's a rainy time, so a little darker image will work better. So this is looking pretty good, and I'm gonna go and hit OK. So the model and background is done. Now we can add in the water splash, and for that go and create a new blank layer from here, this one. Select your brush tool, and in the brush, one set is water splash, that will allow you this brushes. So I think this one looks really good. Activate it. Now it's ridiculously large, so for that go and click on this little option here. So here, first of all, go to brush tip shape here, and make it a bit smaller. So I think this small is good, somewhere around like 300-400. Then decrease the spacing a little bit, and after that go and turn on your shape dynamics for here, activate it, and here make sure your size jitter is 100% and angle jitter is also at 100%. So this is looking really good. Then you just simply go and drag your brush all over here. Now we can't see it because it's black, so I'm gonna go and make sure my color is white because we want water to be white. So my color is white, and my opacity here, that is also 100%, important thing. Then settings are ready, and I'm gonna go and start painting, just like this, and a little bit here too. So this is trial error. At first it might not come out really good, so keep doing it. Make your brush smaller, bigger, different style. So for tutorial, I think yeah, this is good enough, I guess. A little bit here too, in case if you want really heavy rain. So I think this is looking really good. Great. Then go and close it. Now we need to add the rain, and for that again go and create a new blank layer, and let's name it rain. So this is going to be bigger drops. So for that, select your brush and go and select in the brush menu, select this one, yeah, this one 966. As you can see here, this is pretty good. Then make your brush really big. Use your bracket keys to make it big. I think this big, yeah, this is good. So it covers entire area, and click. There, your rain is ready. Looks a little bit weird, I know. So press Ctrl T, hold Shift key and make it a little bit bigger. So you know it covers the canvas nice. So that is good, and confirm it. After that, you go to filter, blur, and you go and select motion blur. Now in the motion blur, your angle has to match the direction of drops. So I think this one a little bit off guard, 70, 60. 60 should be, 65 is good, yeah, looking good. Hit OK, and then go and change the opacity to somewhere around like 50% or something, so it's not very distracting. So this is looking good. After that, go and create another blank layer, and this one I'm gonna name it rain 2 and confirm it. This time you go and select the one has a little bit smaller drops, so this one looks good, right? And for the size, I think this big, no, too small. I'm gonna make it this big. Yeah, this is looking good. So do multiple clicks, doesn't matter, it won't look repetitive. So this is going good, bitsy here and there, and perfect. Now again, what do? We go to filter, blur, and motion blur, and use the same blur that you used last time, and then go and hit OK. So the main rain is done. Now we can add in a little bit texture. So for that, go and create a new blank layer from here. Lots of blank layer in this tutorial. After that, select your paint bucket tool and select your color to be black here. Fill it. Then go to filter, noise, and go and select add noise. So add decent amount of noise. I think 180 looks good. Hit OK. Then you go to filter, blur, and again motion blur. So this is looking good, but this time on the distance you're gonna make it full, like seriously extremely full. So looking good. Hit OK. Then go and change its blending mode to either screen, or you can go with the soft light. So soft light is too dark, I'm gonna go with screen, and change the opacity to 50%. Still too bright, so right click and select blending options, and in the blending option, as you can see, this layer, so you hold your Alt key and then you drag the slider from here all the way here. So now if I turn it on and off, see, hit OK. And for the overall effect, see, a little bit of texture feeling, looks nice. Then you go and create another blank layer from here, paint bucket, same process, fill it. You go to filter, noise, add noise, but this time you add a little less noise, somewhere around like yeah, 40-50% is good. Yeah, okay, 100 is better. Hit OK. Then you go to filter, where is it, you guessed it, blur and motion blur. But in the motion blur this time, you keep your dots to the minimum. So I think 60, 30, 40 is good. So as you can see here, this type of pattern. Then go and hit OK. Then you go to image, adjustment, and you go and select levels. In the levels, you gotta go and take your midtones to this way, the right side, as you can see. So now the texture has started looking better, and you can make it brighter if it doesn't look noticeable. So I think this is good. Hit OK. Then go and change its blending mode to screen. So now if I turn it on and off, as you can see, that subtle texture. Let me zoom in. As you can see, this little texture, yeah, this makes it really good. Then you can go and change the opacity if you don't like it too heavy. So I think somewhere around like 60-70%. Yeah, looks pretty good. Now the rain and texture is looking really good, so we can start focusing on background. We need to do a little bit of adjustment. So for that, I will start with my actual background here. I will create an adjustment layer, and I will select curves, and I will make it a little bit darker. So go as long as you like. So I think this darker looks good, and close it, and make sure your curves is exactly on top of your background layer. Okay, so this is looking good. But then I will select my brush tool, and in the brush I will go and select the regular round brush that we use, really soft, and I will select my black color. So we have curves ready here, right? So in the layer mask I will go and remove it from the bottom. So this will allow us to create effect like this. See, it gives it more, it makes background more interesting like that. See, perfect. And we can do the same thing with the model. See, model, it's little bit more colorful for rain effect. So what do? You go and create a new adjustment layer and you select hue saturation. You right click and then you select create clipping mask. So it will only affect your model. See, so this time I'm gonna make the saturation somewhere around like 24 minus 24. Okay, so we can get rid of a little bit of color. Perfect. And you can always go back to curves and adjust it anytime you like. So I think this dark is more than enough, and a little bit less opacity on this layer. So all the setup is ready, and now we can do some adjustment. So for that, select your top layer right here. You go and create a new blank layer. Then you press Ctrl, Alt, Shift and E. So now if I select my move tool and move it, as you can see, we have a JPG inside document. And let me close it here. So after that, you go to image, adjustment, and then you select shadows and highlights. This time again make the shadow 0, amount somewhere around like highlight 40%, and radius turn it down a little, and tonal width keep also on in control. So now if I turn it on and off, it gives it little bit that monsoony feeling, you know, that dark atmosphere that we have. It's really important, and spend enough time at this part. Okay, so I think a little bit of highlights, let's turn it on and off, and a little bit of tonal width. So I think it's looking pretty decent at this moment. Yeah, so that's looking nice. And then I'm gonna go and simply hit OK. So this is looking good, eh? But we can make it even better. So for that, you go and press Ctrl J. So we have a copy of this final layer, right? Then you go to filter and you go to filter gallery. And in the filter gallery, I'm gonna zoom out so you can see properly. Here you have this option for plastic wrap. As you can see here, in the highlight strength, my numbers are 5, detail 8 and smoothness 9. If your picture is different, it will work differently. So play around until you get the output you like. So this is looking pretty good. Simply go and hit OK. Now obviously it's everywhere and we don't need that. So for that, you go and apply a layer mask. Select your brush tool, make sure you have a soft round brush. Color is black, and opacity somewhere around like 40%. It's pretty good. Then you go and remove it a little bit from the face, but you don't remove it completely. Okay, that's the key. Don't remove it entire. See, and a little bit from her skin here, and from the surrounding. Now you go and make the opacity 100% and you remove it completely at first. See, like this. So we have naturalish rain. Then go and change the opacity back to 30-40%, and you bring it back in parts using white color. Change the color to white and you bring it back itsy bitsy here and there, like that. So you know, this way if I turn it on and off, it gives it that little bit of watery feeling. And then you go and create new adjustment layer, and then you select color balance. And in every tone, in mid-tone, a little bit of cyan, not too much, okay, keep it in control. A little bit of blue, then you go to shadows, a little bit of cyan, a little bit of blue, same with the highlights, little bit of cyan and a little bit of blue, but it's obviously way too strong. If you like this mode, good for you. But for me, I'm gonna go and make it the opacity somewhere like 30-40%. So if I turn it on and off, see that subtle blue tint, I really like that. So that's it, and this is the final output. So let's look at the after before. This is the original file that we started, and this is the final output. And I really hope that you guys learned something from this video. If you did, hit that like button and share it with your friends. And if you have any kind of questions or suggestions, feel free to ask me in comment section below. Till then, goodbye. Take care and have some fun with Photoshop.